Hey guys, before we hop into your video, I wanted to tell you guys about my new partnership with BetterHelp. If you haven't heard of it, it's an online resource in which you can find your very own friendly local neighborhood therapist, no matter where you are in the world. You sign up, and within 24 hours, they match you with a licensed therapist that's right for you. And you can talk to your counselor every week via phone or video chat, and you also have the opportunity to text them in between sessions. As most of you guys know, I am also a licensed professional as well as a mental health advocate, and sometimes in these readings, very in-depth topics come up that are very intricately related to mental health, and it's for that reason that I offer this resource to you guys. And if you know anyone that can benefit from them, or if you yourself can benefit from them, I suggest you take advantage of them. The information to sign up will be in the description box below, but let's go ahead and get into your reading. Hello, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio, aka water signs. Welcome to your reading. Princess India here. If you are new and if you are family, welcome back, my friend. So we're going to go ahead and jump into you guys' cards. First, we're going to be looking at your energy as well as a person of interest. And then if you want to see your individual signs solo dolo, we're going to do that over on the Vimos, you know what I'm saying? But anywho, or my website, or Patreon, or YouTube, join stuff. Anywho, so first we're going to ask Spirit to give us clear and direct guidance for my water signs. Please, Spirit, anything that they need to know, anything of utmost importance, I ask that comes to the forefront in this here reading, please, Spirit. And as always, I thank you in advance, Spirit, because I know you're good for it. And what's not. Or whatever. All right, let's see what is going on. Just making sure y'all can see there. Okay, all right, that works. All right, so first card for my water signs, we have the Ten of Swords. It's a lot of that this month. Then we have the Ten of Pentacles. God, I love that card. And then we have the Page of Wands in the reverse. So what I am seeing here, water signs, is well, I'm just going to go and say what it is I just heard, which is death by thought. That's not a thing. But if I were to explain the context of what that means, death by thought is if you think of running away from yourself, right? If you're thinking negative thoughts or about yourself or other people, or you've been hurt, and you get to a point of ruminating, being stuck in the past, an inability to move forward, an inability to let things go that are over and done, right? It's still, I don't want to use the term grieving. I don't want to use the term grieving. Because grieving, of course, is the natural process with anything that ends, but this is something where it's kind of it's not necessarily grief stricken, it's really just ruminating. It's thinking about things that haven't worked, it's thinking about things that have gone awry and things of the sort. But of course, this is past energy, so I'm feeling that coming into the middle of May, and this for some of you can go as far back as, you know, a year, years, months, what have you. It's different for each of you. But coming into the middle of May, that has been a lot of what your past looked like. It's a lot of regret. It's a lot of betrayal. It's a lot of disappointment and things of the sort. However, the thing that I see that is beautiful with the Ten of Pentacles in the present position and in the context of us speaking in, love and things of the sort, what we're talking about is self-love, because in this deck, that's what the Ten of Pentacles represents. And when we take this solo concept, which is about, and I made so many jokes about this card, but, and all of them are running through my head right now, and I'm trying to, focus. But more or less, what this card is depicting is what I believe, in my opinion, is the most ideal process if you want to have a healthy and successful love relationship, which is to first fall absolutely in love with yourself, right? And self-love, not in the convoluted construct in which it has become, where people say that they love themselves, but their behavior betrays that notion. But speaking of it in the sense of self-love being simply a stance that one takes or aspires to within, and one's choices align with that mindset. Which is why I could ask, 500 people, do you love yourself? Majority of them will probably say yes. Yes, I do. And if I were to watch their behavior for a week, it would be an entirely different story. Because the choices and the behaviors that are engaged in don't support this mindset, right? So with this, in the present moment, this is the place that all water signs are in. It's aspiring to come to a place of self-appreciation. And even if you aren't there yet, that ideally would be what it is that one would want to aspire in the direction of, if you will. So with this translates into love relationships, because when you feel a certain way about yourself, when you treat yourself a certain way, when you appreciate yourself a certain way, when there's certain things that you will and won't do to or for yourself, right? Then you're going to look for a partner that is a reflection of you. And when we talk about things like mirror effects and things of the sort, this would be the most idealized manifestation of such of a concept, is falling in love with someone who loves themselves as much as you love yourself, and you guys loving each other as much as you love yourselves. So it's never so much of a question of, will I be treated properly, or will they cheat, will they lie, and things of the sort. Because a person who truly wholeheartedly loves themselves does not partake in such activity. Now, when it comes to this Page of Wands in the reverse, it's two things that I see here. One of them is more self-focused. The other is more other person focused, right? So in the self-focused perception of this, if we were to go back to the Ten of Pentacles, that being a feminine energy, because in the event that you didn't know, a little tarot lesson, Pentacles and Cups are feminine receptive energies. Swords and Wands are phallic, love saying that word, like giver type of energies, action-oriented energies, right? So they're more in, out, and, the other is out, in other words. So anywho, so with the Page of Wands in the reverse, on the side that's more personal focused, I feel there's a lack thereof of action on this state in reference to your love life. And why is that? And I feel that goes back to fears from the past. So what this says to me, which I think is great, is water sign people have grown a great deal. So you're not in a space to where you're in a dark place, you're thinking negative, you're feeling negative about yourself, and woe is me and things of the sort. You have grown and transitioned into a space to where your success, your happiness, your personal fulfillment, your personal well-being and things of the sort, those are a priority for you. And I can give you a thumbs up on that, because that's what we're looking for, right? However, as we're going through our growth process, there's always going to be residual energies from past cycles. This whole thing called life is, an unfolding process. So there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel even though you guys have taken this state of making yourself a priority, it's still internal, right? And it hasn't completely translated into your actions, right? So it's not necessarily going in the direction of what is in alignment with your highest good or highest passion or desire or what have you. And of course, because we're reading for Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio, this can manifest in a myriad of different ways. In the sense that it could be selecting partners that aren't much different than past partners. It could be a fear of dating at all because of, what you've experienced past tense. You know what I mean? So it's like, I just want to keep myself love to myself, right? Or it could be moving to this place in an inward state of aspiring to self-love. However, not leaving a partner behind that, like being with someone who's not in alignment with you. And it's like going through this process of healing and stuff within oneself and like being with a person who has not changed type of deal. So it could manifest in a myriad of different ways. And then for those of you who aren't with anyone at all, the thing that I would see with this is when it comes to partner selection, you would want to choose, well, I'm not going to say that because there's so many intricacies to that. If I were to be mean and say the very superficial explanation of this, which would be, just choose different people, all right? Which would be so unfair because there's so many intricacies to human beings and their makeup and their personality that the best someone could do is like, well, I always date, chicks who, what's the style of dress that people are into now? I don't know. I'm going to use something that my kid says. Like, I always date, e-girls. You know what I'm saying? Or I always date e-boys. So now it's like, oh God, this is like me showing my age. I don't even know if people use this word anymore. But it's like, now I'm going to start dating people who are preppy. Because that's different than like what we called it back in the day was like goth and emo, And, I'm going to go from e-girl to preppy, if that's a word that people still use. I don't think it is. I haven't heard it since like the early 2000s, but moving right along. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the inner being of a person, and not in an abstract sense. We're speaking about this in the sense of who you are really. Like, if you have a habit of dating people who are emotionally unavailable, the first task would be become emotionally available, which is still kind of simplifying it because you don't just become emotionally available. You have to go through the whole process of that and whatnot. But hypothetically, let's say you've done all of that, and it would be being attracted to people who are emotionally available, because now, since you know what emotional availability looks like, you're not going to be attracted to people like that anymore. So by nature, when you heal, right, and you grow in awareness, what used to be attractive to you, like what you were attracted to out of your wounding, that's no longer attractive, right? Like, that's when you know that you've truly healed and grown, is when you no longer find dysfunction attractive. It's like when a person dodges ghosts and, emotionally withdraws, all of that would turn you completely off to where you're like, you have serious issues and you wouldn't want to engage with the person. And I guess this is just like a little segue of advice. That's the marker of your healing. It's like when we feel as if we have healed, right? Because we don't have as many symptoms of an ailment or what have you that we used to have. And we find in our romantic life that we still keep dating the same type of person. So let's hypothetically throw in the buzzword narcissist. So say that you've always dated narcissists, right? And like you go through this whole self-healing process. You don't date for a year. You start dating again. And suddenly you date another narcissist. Well, that means that some backtracking needs to be done. If I were to say generalized in my experience of working with people, 9 times out of 10, a lot of the stuff that the person healed were symptoms of a deeper problem. That deeper problem going back to childhood. My hunch or assumption would be, okay, does this person have a parental figure that's emotionally unavailable or that has narcissistic traits, right? Not the YouTube ones, but the ones that are in the diagnostic statistic manual. But anyway, moving right along. But we look at those traits, and if we see that that is a pattern, then of course it's great that the person has healed a lot of different, issues or problems and stuff that they had. But we really want to attack the root issue, right? That's leading someone to be attracted, because this is getting really psychological. Don't know how this is happening. But anywho, your definition of love is set by the age of 6 along with your personality. So whatever dynamics you witness as a child, it's almost as if that is put into a Rubbermaid container in your subconscious. So when it comes to partner selection, you're going to try to date people subconsciously. This is where people will feel as if every single person that I date, right, they're all the same. And some people will go to the extent of saying, all women are the same, all men are the same. And the issue with that is that it's not taking into account the role that we're playing, and not saying that there's fault finding, like it's your fault for choosing these people, because it's something you're unaware of, because it's subconscious, not conscious. So you could consciously want a healthy relationship. You can consciously want someone who treats you properly. However, your conscious mind is combating your subconscious, which actually is what's responsible for creating how you perceive a great deal of stuff. So going back to what I was saying, if your definition of love is set by the age of 6 years old, and most of us can barely remember 6 years old, maybe a couple of memories, but whatever the family dynamics were in your family of origin, that's what's encapsulated in your subconscious, and thus what's projected into your reality, right? Whew. I just felt energy of someone like, oh, so I'm just helpless. No, you're not. So here's the deal. So the thing is that that's what you want to unearth and work on, because it's going to be like unfinished business where you're drawn to someone because you're trying to resolve what is subconsciously unresolved from your childhood. So that's the whole explanation of why it is that people will consistently pick bad partners, or why someone is going through the process of healing and changing and is still with a less than stellar partner, right? So that's the whole thing that I'm seeing for you guys. So y'all are in a good place. It's just that you want to, those of you who are holding back on dating, I'm not going to tell you what to do. It's just be cognizant of that. It's, you've grown to a point to where you love and respect yourself enough to where if a person does something that goes against what you feel is right or healthy, then it's just having the strength to cut that off, right? So that's you guys' energy just solo dolo. So if we throw this into your person of interest, the first card that they have is the 4 of Swords in the reverse. Then we have the 3 of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay. All right. And then we have the 5 of Cups in the reverse. Holy mother of goodness, they got all reverse cards. What's happening in America? Whew. Wow, okay. So, with your person of interest, with the 4 of Swords, oh man, and the 3 of Pentacles, the whole thing I'm seeing here with this person, This is everything I just said. I was about to say I might be psychic. I was trying to not say it, but I can't help it. With the Four of Swords and the Three of Pentacles. This is legit like how I was describing emotional unavailability. That's exactly what this is, yo. It's like whether this is encapsulating people that you guys, and this is so interesting to me, whether this is people, like for people who are single, whether this energy is encapsulating what a lot of your past partners look like, or if you're presently with someone and this encapsulates the person that you're with. It's like how I'm seeing this is all of this energy is orienting into this card. So what that's saying to me is that the way that you guys have felt in the past, right, is almost like being injected with another person's poison. So, and it's a lot like I said with, who did I do before this? It was Capricorn and Virgo. And then I think it like that came up in Gemini too. Is more or less like when you date people who have issues, it's like they project their issues onto you. And that goes back to everything I was saying up here about the whole subconscious thing. It's the fact that in your subconscious mind, like I said, you're projecting that onto your reality, which is why, like in the extended, why when we do how the person thinks and feels about you, why we look at the subconscious mind. Because a lot of times when you're with people who are fucked up, I'm just going to say it like that. I'm not going to try to find a fancy word for it, but they will project their issues and shortcomings onto you, right? And being a person who operates in feminine energy, whether you're masculine or feminine in real life, you know what I'm saying? Like being a person who's receptive, like empathic would be a person who operates out of feminine energy. It's like you absorb things that are coming towards you from the outside world. So not having malicious intentions or wanting to hurt or harm people, right? You're going to internalize a lot of what people are saying because you want to give the person the benefit of the doubt. It's like, well, maybe I am doing that. You know what I mean? Maybe that is the type of person that I am. And it's almost as if this person vomits their putrid energy on you on some stuff. But still in all, I see you guys coming out of that. So for those of you who are not with someone, this would encapsulate past people. But for those of you who are, that's that third scenario I said with this card that's a tad bit concerning for me. Because this would be you trying to move forward out of this. However, it's connecting your life with someone who is in direct opposition to that. Because all of this is withholding energy. You know? This is like me, I'm not telling you what I'm thinking. You know what I mean? It's a very superficial engagement. You never know what's on the person's mind. With the Three of Pentacles in the reverse, it's a lack of working together. It's feeling as if you're in a relationship or a partnership by yourself. And a lot of that has to do with the fact of this person themselves being very much stuck in the past. So that's where my whole theory of how it's like a disease, like you being infected, because that's a lot of what I was saying with this Ten of Swords, of that whole ruminating and, you know, running in your head over and over again, things that have gone awry and things that haven't worked out. And this is more or less the state that this person is existing in. And the thing that I'm seeing here with this Five of Cups and the reverse, and this is specifically if this is a person that you guys are dealing with, like those of you who are connected to someone, it's like with this person, they're still very much stuck in the past. And I don't know the specifics of it, but I mean, it can go as far back as, like I said, childhood stuff, or it could be a past relationship, a love they lost, anything. But the whole thing that's anchoring this person and orienting them past tense to where they can't be emotionally vulnerable, intimate, and connect is because whatever it is that they experienced or transpired in the past is what shut their heart down. So they haven't let people in for some time. Now, for those of you who this would represent someone you used to be with, This would be saying, if you ever wondered if your last person is any different, they're not. They still on their same bullshit. I'm just saying, I'm just being real. You know what I'm saying? But what I feel out of all of this that's of utmost importance is to continue on the path that you're on, but not to allow what you've experienced past tense to hold you back from what the potential is for your future, you know? And those of you who are with this particular person, I don't really see them, like the thing that would have to happen with them, it's like all of these cards would have to be upright. If all these cards were like upright, I mean, even with this one, whether it's reversed or it's upright, it's just, the Five of Cups ain't no winning with that. Because it's like, with it being upright, it's like temporary grief. You know what I mean? It's crying over your little spilled milk, but it's like how I didn't want to use the word grief here, and it was ruminating, because these two cards are like the same vibration. It's like, this is when it's almost stepped out of the realm of it being grieving that's a natural process to where it's exacerbated, to where it's like a person just can't get over it. Like, it has not been processed at all. So we're not just talking about like 5 stages of grief here and that not having a time frame. It's like, it's something where it's well beyond the realm of it being a natural progression of grief, you know, that's not death related, you know. So these two energies are the same to me, but dealing with someone with that, it's like just giving insight. It's almost like this would be holding you back. So it's like, despite what it is you do here, this is still like being boxed in, because this is the most positive energy out of all of these cards. But, and I mean, I can even say the same thing for those of you that don't even deal with this person anymore. If this person, you allow this person to affect you that much to where it instills fear, that despite the inner work that you do, it still keeps you boxed in to where the beauty of who you are remains internal and it's never externalized, that's a disservice to yourself as well. So it can go both ways with that. But let's go ahead and throw the dice of resonance, because I don't know what's going on with these readings, but these daddies is long. Oh, Lord. You can ask a yes or no question if you like. We have sun, we have coworker boss, we have yes. We got a lot of yeses this month. We have Libra, and we have Taurus. So sun, yes. Coworker boss, Libra, and Taurus. Nah, I'm saying. And I'm going to throw out some of these initial cards and things and some additional zodiac cards. And then after that, we're going to go over to Vimeo, where we're going to look at your individual signs and things and how your person is thinking and feeling about you. First letter out, we have Q. Don't you dare talk about my handwriting. Whoop. X and J. I want to pick 4. Whoa. And V. Know what I'm saying? So V as in Victor, J as in John, X as in X-ray, and Q as in Queen. That could be first, middle, or last name. Know what I'm saying? I remember when I used to do those random readings. I think I might do those again. I miss those. All right. We have Aquarius and we have Gemini. I'm going to pick one more just because I'm feeling it. Oh, Pisces. Look at that. All right. We're going to go on over to Vimeo or my website, wherever it is that you watch me, my dear. We're going to finish playing these cards out for each sign and then look at how your person is thinking and feeling about you. So if you're about that life, follow me over there. If not, I still love your freaking face, and I will see you guys sooner than later. Deuces.